We have already seen how Vaporeon and Flareon fare in Pokemon Crystal, so let's now complete the Generation 1s with Jolteon. And now, just before we get into this challenge, I want to say thank you to everybody for your very kind words throughout the course of November. We are, of course, into another month here on the channel, the final month of 2024, and I think we're going out with a little bit of a bang. We have a whopping 17 videos together this month. We've got 16 challenge runs plus one little bonus video on Christmas Day, so if you don't want to miss any of them, make sure you are subscribed. Now, a little bit later on in the month, because it's normally chilly where I live here in December, we're going to be celebrating all things Ice-type. For now, though, we really must turn our attention back to Jolteon, and in order to get a Jolteon, we need to start as an EV. So let's take a look at our stats, shall we? We're level 5 with 22 HP, holding the berry, and of course we've got Tackle and Tail Whip, 12 in attack, 11 in defense and special attack, 13 in special defense, and 12 in speed. It's our standard Hidden Power Ice EV to start the challenge, so let's get the graphics up and the challenge underway. As always, I'll show you the very first encounter we have with a wild Pokemon, and it is in this case a level 3 Pidgey. We're going to use Tackle, it's going to be just 2 shots to knock it out. With that, we can start making our way towards the first rival battle. In this challenge, the rival's going to have the Chikorita line the entire way through. Honestly, in a challenge like Jolteon, the starter choice is a little bit moot, so I've just gone for the one that will hold us back the most in the early part of the game. We still get through with no issues whatsoever though, and we can start making our way towards Falkner. Falkner's our first gym leader together, a flying type specialist who leads with Pidgey. Now, if you've seen the other videos, you know how this battle goes. It's a very easy battle for Eevee. We've just got to get through the Pidgeotto in 3 shots, and then we defeat Falkner to obtain our first badge in a time of 7 minutes and 25 seconds. Our second gym leader is Bugsy. He's the bug type specialist of Azalea Town, and he leads with Metapod. We're holding the berry in this particular battle just in case of Fury Cutter shenanigans. We're going to get through the Kakuna in 2 shots as well, and here comes the Scyther. Scyther starts Fury Cuttering, but it's not going to be enough. 3 Swifts knocks out the Scyther, and that means we have defeated Bugsy to obtain the Hive Badge in 13 minutes and 51 seconds. We cannot celebrate for too long though, the dreaded Rival 2 is just around the corner. And as we know, when running a normal type, we really can get stuck here at Rival 2. It's not going to be the Bayleaf that's the problem, it's going to be this Ghastly. We take it deep into the red with a critical hit Mud Slap, but Hypnosis connects, and then we get PP stalled out of Mud Slap. That is an instant reset. Let's hope for something better this time. We 2-shot the Ghastly, and here comes Zubat. We'll use Swift, and a critical hit knocks it out in 1 shot, and the final Pokemon is Bayleaf. We're going to continue using Swift. Razor Leaf will tickle us a little bit, but we get through with no issues on our second attempt in a time of 14 minutes and 44 seconds. Let's now move on to Goldenrod City, where Whitney is waiting for us. She is of course a normal type specialist who leads with Clefairy. We get poisoned gassed by Clefairy, which is incredibly rude of it, and that does put us on a clock for the rest of this battle. We're going to try and deal as much damage with Headbutt, and once that cow is low enough, we're going to swap to Quick Attack to pick it off before she can knock us out. And the strategy worked perfectly to give us the plain badge in a time of 19 minutes and 44 seconds. Before taking on the third rival battle, we're going to battle Lastana. Lastana lives here on Route 38, and it's by battling her and getting her phone number that we're going to be obtaining the Thunderstone. And I haven't explained it for a while, but if you go back to your mum's house after you've got a phone number, and then toggle the daylight savings time on and off, you can force a phone call. That's how we get the stones quickly in these challenge runs, and then once we have the appropriate call, we can cycle back to Route 38, or we can speak to Lastana and get ourselves the Thunderstone. Now, the Thunderstone is going to be used straight away, and we're going to be evolving our Eevee into Jolteon. And it was very important to evolve at level 30 so that we get the option to learn Double Kick. We might just have 65 in attack, but Double Kick will be great against the Magnemite line. So that's why that's on the learn set, and that's why I was very hasty in evolving. Let's now take on the third rival battle. He's going to lead with Haunter. We've got Bite on the learn set by this point, which we learnt at level 30 as an Eevee, and honestly the combination of Bite and Double Kick for Rival 3 is incredibly powerful. And then if you add Hidden Power Ice into the mix for the Bayleaf and the Zubat, you have a very, very easy third rival battle. We get get through him in just over half an hour, we'll fall through the floor and end up in front of Morty. Morty is our 4th gym leader together, a ghost and poison type dual spectacular specialist gym leader, and he leads with Ghastly. We've got bites, we've got phenomenal special attack. This is a foregone conclusion. We are not even bothering to hold the Minceberry for this battle. That is how confident we are. We get through on our first attempt in a time of 32 minutes and 2 seconds. Let's move on to Chuck. Chuck's a fighting type specialist who leads with Primeape. Now, we don't have anything great for Poliwrath. We're going to be relying just on Headbutt, because all of our other moves are going to be resisted. Dynamic Punch hits, we cure ourselves of confusion with the Bitterberry, but then it lands for a second time in a row. We hit ourselves in confusion, but Dynamic Punch misses, and we had a very lucky escape. That's a Storm Badge in 34 minutes and 34 seconds. Let's take on Price. Price is the Ice-type specialist of Mahogany Gym who leads with Seal. Now, if we had an Electric-type move, this would be a lot easier. As it stands, we are going to have to brute force our way through this battle. We're going to use a combination of Bite and Double Kick, and that should be enough. It isn't clean, it isn't elegant, but it gets the job done. We get through the Dugong to finish off Price in a time of 41 minutes and 7 seconds. Our penultimate Jotonian gym leader is Jasmine. She's a Steel-type specialist who leads with Magnemite. We're going to use Double Kick on the Magnemite. It's going to be a 1-shot or a 2-shot, depending on how you look at it, on both of the Magnemites. That brings us on to the Steelix. Hidden Power Ice runs neutral against the Steelix. We take it down to half HP on turn 1, we finish it off on turn 2, and that is Jasmine done very quickly in 42 minutes and 13 seconds. Let's now take a trip underground to where the 4th rival battle is waiting for us. This time he's going to lead with Golbat. We've got Hidden Power Ice, so that is a very, very clean 1-shot against the Golbat. And the second Pokemon is Magnemite. Double Kick is just the trick for Magnemite, and we knock it out in 2 kicks. And the third Pokemon is Haunter. We'll bite the Haunter to make it go away, and the 4th is Sneasel Pleasel. It's quad weak to fighting, so a single Double Kick gets the job done. We'll swap back to Hidden Power Ice for the Meganium. We knock it out in 1 shot, and the 4th rival is done in 48 minutes and 33 seconds. Our final Jotonian gym leader is Claire. She's the Dragon-type specialist who leads with Dragonair. Now, we are going to be using our Hidden Power Ice against all 3 of these Dragonair. They absolutely will not stand a chance against it. We are really focusing just on Kingdra. Hidden Power takes off just shy of half health, so we give it a nibble. She locks herself into Hyper Beam. But Smokescreen really has put in the work for Claire here. We are missing left, right and centre. We take the Kingdra down into the red and she goes well 2 can play at that game. We get very lucky to connect with our final Hidden Power Ice. And we defeat Claire to obtain the Rising Badge in 55 minutes and 51 seconds. That was definitely our dirtiest fight to date. Let's try and clean it up now against rival number 5. He's going to lead this time with Sneasel Pleasel, and that just means he's only got 5 Pokemon really. 1 Double Kick knocks it out and we get the option to learn Thunder. We're going to decline because it is hideously inaccurate, and then we'll Double Kick the Magneton. A bit of a disaster happens here though. We don't knock it out in 1 turn. That means we're paralysed, and then the Haunter confuses us. Parafusion is one of the worst things to happen on a solo run, because we have a very low chance of actually attacking the opponents. The confusion wears off as we get through the Kadabra, but then when the Golbat comes out, we end up being confused once more. The RNG goes our way though, we knock it out with a single Hidden Power Ice, and we are through the rival for one final time in 1 hour and 18 seconds. And with that, we're at the Pokémon League, so we're going to heal up whether we need to or not, and we'll say thank you to the HM friends. So it's a big thank you to Kenya, to Abra, to Psyduck, and merci to Paris. You've all been a great help in the Johto region. Get yourselves some well-deserved rest, while Jolteon prepares to take on the Pokémon League. Before we go into the league, we'll take a look at our stats, and we are level 52 with 160 HP. We're holding the Scamulet coin with Hidden Power Ice, Bite, Return, and Double Kick. We've got 107 in attack, 101 in defense, 158 in special attack, 142 in special defense, and 172 in speed. Those are the out of battle stats. We've got a big buff in battle, as we'll see now, against Will. He's our first league member, a Psychic type specialist who leads with Xatu. We'll one-shot Xatu with Hidden Power Ice, and here comes Jinx. It's a one-shot with a return on the Jinx as we grow to level 53. Out comes the Executor, so it's straight back to Hidden Power Ice. We knock it out in 1, and the 4th Pokemon is Slowbro. We've got Bite for the Slowbro, and a critical hit takes care of it in a single shot, and we'll bite to the final Xatu. A very simple will battle in a time of 1 hour, 1 minute and 31 seconds. Our second league member is Koga. He's a poison type specialist who leads with Ariados. We don't quite one-shot the Ariados, but we can finish it off with a bite. Second up is Fortress, and the plan here is to just keep nibbling. We're fishing for flinches and hoping it doesn't go boom. We get lucky on this occasion and we get through it on the first try. Up third is Venomoth. Once again we're going to try and fish for a flinch and we knock it out in 2. The penultimate Pokemon is Muck. We'll bite on turn 1, we'll bite on turn 2, but Sludge Bomb poisons us. That means we're on a clock for the rest of this battle as the Crobat comes out, but 1 Hidden Power Ice is all it takes to finish Koga off, and we are through in 1 hour, 2 minutes and 18 seconds. Now our third league member Bruno is particularly dangerous for the electric type. We've seen it time and time again. With Raikou, with Electrode, with Jolteon, we always struggle here at Bruno. And this time is no exception either. We get chipped away by Bruno's first few Pokemon, including a super effective dig from Hitmontop, and then by the time the Machamp comes out, A, we're not strong enough to knock it out in 2 shots, and B, Cross Chop will hit like a truck, and that inevitably means we have to take a reset. Now I've changed my routing slightly for the Jolteon challenge. We've started picking up a gold berry from the Flash Room in the Ruins of Alph. 30 HP might not sound like a lot, but in terms of a safety net for Bruno, it really is the best that we have. As it happens, we didn't actually need the gold berry in this particular battle. Cross Chop does more damage than what the gold berry could heal, but the RNG goes our way this time. We get hit by Cross Chop as Machamp gets caught in a healing loop. Cross Chop misses on its second attempt. That gives us the in to defeat Machamp and get through Bruno in 1 hour, 4 minutes and 55 seconds. Our final league member is Karen. She's the Dark type specialist who leads with Umbreon. We're going to use Double Kick against the Umbreon. It really is the best that we've got. The HP up strategy works and we end up getting confused, but the Bitterberry heals it. We'll use Hidden Power Ice against the Vileplume. That's a guaranteed one-shot. And then we'll have a little nibble on the Gengar. We one-shot it even though Bite's a very low power move, and here comes Houndoom. We don't have anything great for the Houndoom, but we're going to double kick it. Flamethrower hits, but it doesn't burn us, and Houndoom is now in a healing loop. 2 further returns, knocks it out, and the final Pokemon is Murkrow. We'll swap back to Hidden Power Ice, we get through it, we grow to level 56, and we defeat Karen in 1 hour, 5 minutes and 57 seconds. That means there's only one obstacle between us and the Hall of Fame. It's time for Lance, the Liar with the Flyers, and he'll lead with Gyarados. If we had an electric type move on the learn set, this battle would have been significantly easier. As it stands, we'll have to use Return against the Gyarados, then we'll swap to Hidden Power Ice for the first Dragonite. It's 4 times weak, we've got huge special attack, of course it's going to go down in 1. The same goes for the second level 47 Dragonite, and of course it's identical for the level 50 Dragonite as well. Even though Aerodactyl can withstand some very hard hits, it's no match for our Hidden Power, and the last Pokemon is Charizard. We have to use Return against the Charizard and hope we don't get burnt. That happened first time this time, so we're through Lance in a time of 1 hour, 6 minutes and 51 seconds. And that means our final Hall of Fame time is 1 hour, 7 minutes and 7 seconds. That puts Jolteon in a very respectable 31st place as we get through the Pokémon League. But this is only half of the story. There's another 8 gym badges plus the red fight left to come, so don't you dare go anywhere. Kanto is next. And we rejoin the action here in Vermilion City, where the first thing we do in Kanto is the last thing we do in Johto. We're going to get another rare candy, this time for the chairman of the Pokemon Fan Club. And with that safely tucked away in our bag for another challenge, I am more than pleased to announce that Jolteon is capable of taking on our standard Cantonian routing. So we'll start here at Lieutenant Surge, we'll make our way over to Erica, then down to Janine, it'll be over to Saffron for Sabrina, up to Cerulean for Misty, then west to Pewter for Brock, down to the Seafoam Islands for Blaine, and then we'll finish off with Blue. And talking of Blue, if you do want to skip ahead to the Blue fight, it's going to be happening at around about 17 minutes exactly. For everybody else, let's now sit back, relax, and have our standard Cantonian chat. And at the start of this one, I'm going to talk about why I made some of the choices I did throughout the course of this challenge. You may have noticed we evolved at level 30. That was so that we could get double kick and bite at the same time. Double kick was not the best move in the world, however it was super effective against steel types, and even though we only had 65 in attack, it got the job done for most of the time when we needed it. And bite was a fantastic move to take care of any pesky ghost types, and some psychic types throughout the course of this challenge. I declined thunder, because even though thunder is an electric type move and would have made a couple of battles easier, the low PP and low accuracy meant I couldn't justify it for the league. If we'd have got it a little bit earlier on, I would have considered it, but because we were getting Thunderbolt straight after the league, I thought we would just grin and bear a couple of tougher battles. Is that the right choice? We will never know, but that is what gut instincts told me to do here on this particular challenge. And that brings me very nicely on to my second thing I want to talk about here. I'm not sure if it's clear by this point, but most of the challenges we do here on the channel are our first impressions. Unless there is such a big misplay that I don't feel I can justify uploading the video, I will not redo a challenge. All the challenges we see here on the channel are either the first attempt or one of the very first attempts. I used to do first attempts on stream sometimes, but I have reined that back in. Because the core aim of this series is to get a first impression time with every single Pokemon in the Pokédex. And that does come with its own host of challenges, and sometimes I get it wrong. I'm especially thinking of Electrode with that one. Going in with a physical hidden power type absolutely was not the play. I reckon we could shave off a good 20 minutes to half an hour if we go with something like hidden power ice. The other two options of course are hidden power water or hidden power fire. I will do a little bit more research, and then hopefully in the new year we can look at doing a bit of a redo stream where we'll hopefully have some redemption. But honestly, I like having some mistakes in the challenges, because at the end of the day, I am only human. I am one person, I'm not a genius at this game by any stretch of the imagination, and sometimes my gut instinct gets it wrong. I'd like to think that more often than not these days, my gut instinct gets it right, but because I don't have any third-party software helping me with my routing, there are always going to be occasions where I can save a lot of time by playing much, much better. Now let's rejoin the action here at Blue. He is our final gym leader of the challenge. He is a mixed-type specialist who leads with Pidgeot. We're going to use Thunderbolt against Pidgeot and we knock it out in one shot. And up next is Rhydon. We'll use Hidden Power against the Rhydon. We take it down in one, and that brings us on to Alakazam. Thunderbolt's a one-shot on the Alakazam, and that brings us on to Executor. Executor is a range and we low roll, and that means we end up seeded. That's going to put us on a very, very long clock for the rest of the battle. We're going to play it smart now and use Return on turn 1 against the Arcanine. That's going to prevent any kind of healing loop. We'll finish it off with Thunderbolt, and the last Pokemon is Gyarados. Gyarados is 4 times weak to Electric, it goes down in 1. We grow to level 65 and we defeat Blue in a time of 1 hour, 22 minutes and 10 seconds. And that means we have all of our gym badges acquired. Let's now start heading over to Mount Silver where we can face our final battle of the challenge. This is Red, the final trainer, and he's going to lead with Pikachu. This battle is not going to be easy at level 65. We've got nothing to one-shot the Pikachu, and that means time is already being wasted by Red healing looping. We get through in a couple of shots though, and here comes Espeon. Espeon sets up a Reflect, that's fine, we're going to be mostly focusing on our special attack. There is no sense in going for double kick against the Snorlax. A Reflect is up and we've been charmed. There's going to be nothing we can do to get through this Snorlax on this attempt. We get knocked out, so we'll use 3 rare candies. Up to level 68 we go. We're still not going to be able to one-shot the Pikachu, but we are going to be ignoring Charm. I think the best play here is to work with our strengths. Go for our special attacks, because that's where we have the greatest power. We're back onto the Snorlax, we're going to use Thunderbolt, he uses Amnesia, we are fishing for a crit. It's times like this where I really wish that Hidden Power Ice could freeze. We're still getting nowhere against the Snorlax, let's go up to level 71. Once again we're going to have to fight with this Pikachu. Return is not a one-shot, but we have not been charmed. That means our physical attacks could potentially come into play. It all depends on what the Espeon decides to do. We're through the Pikachu, we're back onto the Espeon. We'll use Thunderbolts, but once again a Reflect goes up. That practically negates all of our physical attack. We are still best off using Thunderbolts and fishing for the crit. We get paralysed, I decided enough's enough, let's use our last set of rare candies. Up to level 75 we go. Nothing we have can still reliably one-shot this Pikachu. This is the first obstacle of the battle. We are going to be having our time wasted courtesy of his full restores. We get through the Pikachu and we are back onto Espeon. Espeon goes for Psychic instead of Reflect, but I would have preferred the Reflect going up. That would have given us much more health for the Snorlax. Even though we've got full attack and we don't have the Reflect up, Double Kick would still not do enough to knock this bear out. We are really fishing for a critical hit regardless of which way we approach it. We don't get lucky this time, so we are getting the big guns out. It is time for Zap Cannon. We are giving up on Double Kick once and for all. We'll take out the Pikachu with Return and we are on to the Espeon once more. We'll use Thunderbolt against the Espeon and it gets itself paralysed. Psychic hits us for a little bit of damage and we knock it out in 2. Here comes Snorlax once again. We'll use Zap Cannon, it connects and that guarantees paralysis. Unfortunately for us though, the Snorlax still got an amnesia off. We just need to get through this bear. He sends himself to sleep, so I say let's take a reset. There is no sense in wasting time trying to chip away at a Snorlax that has used amnesia. We're back on the Pikachu grind. We just have to get through it, and we see the Espeon once more. We use Thunderbolts, we take it deep into the red, Psychic hits us, and we knock it out in 2. It's us versus the Snorlax once again. Zap Cannon hits, we paralyse it, and he is fully paralysed. That is the luck we were hoping for. We get through the Snorlax in 3 shots, and here comes Venusaur. Venusaur virtually never attacks on turn 1, so it is a free KO, even though the sun is up. Out comes Charizard. I keep trying to use Thunderbolt, but my controller just was not playing ball. The inputs were so delayed, but the A presses were coming out sooner than the up presses. We just about survive. We have our cursor over Thunderbolt, and it's a one-hit wonder to finish off Red, and we defeat him at a time of 1 hour, 27 minutes, and 56 seconds. That was a very, very satisfying end to the Red fight. I think it was guaranteed as soon as we got through the Snorlax, we would have defeated Red, and that puts us in 29th place on the leaderboard, nestled nicely in between Blastoise and Raticate, and that is a very impressive time for a Jolteon. That does push Sneasel Pleasel down into 50th place in the drop zone, and now heading up page 3 is Miltank. Down at the other end of page 3, Mantine had better watch out. It is precariously dangling in the page 4 drop zone, and Rhydon is the latest entry on page 4. Spare a thought for poor old Shuckle, all the way down there in 102nd place now. And of course there is no change to the top 10 of the leaderboard. It's still Dodrio's Rido in 3rd, Ho-Oh in 2nd, Pidgeot in 3rd, and then Lugia is dangling in the page 1 drop zone. But with that, we are done. So really hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have, make sure to leave a like. If you want to see more challenges just like this, then click the subscribe button. Any feedback, leave it in the comments down below. And until next time, when it's Lapras in Fire Red, I'll say thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all very, very soon.